Warning, the following show features stunts performed either by professionals or under the supervision of professionals. Accordingly, the reality guys and producers must insist that none of these opinions be taken as facts. Now, please enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
We're back. New show. This is kind of cool. This is playing on the fringe of reality TV, but this may be the most reality TV show that's ever existed. Both for the fact that this are very real people and real scenarios, and we'll get into it, but also there's a lot of scripted nature to it, Brian. Heavily scripted nature to this show. If you haven't seen by the title, we are talking about the new, this is now, be very specific, people. This is the HBO show, HBO original, The Rehearsal. It is not an HBO Max show, so you have to wait for it to air. It's like 10 o'clock on Friday nights, and then it's available on the apps. Hosted, written, produced, created by Nathan Fielder. Brian, you were a big fan of his former series on HBO, which is
Nathan For You. I think it was on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It's on HBO now if you want to watch it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's very similar premise. Like, he's doing interesting things to like interact with people and see. It's all about like doing something for people and reacting how they react. And it's just, he's a funny guy. I mean, he thinks of these weird stuff and just like the situations he puts stuff in. And I was just telling Bill before the show, there's one, because we do reality TV, he does a spoof one episode of The Bachelor, and he's terrible at it because he's awful at talking to people. It's just like funny things like that. And he gets in these situations, and it's just his like monotone, narration just makes everything he does super funny.
So if you haven't actually watched The Rehearsal and you're watching us to let you know if you should watch it or not, watch it. I don't say this a lot on our videos. Just go stop our video right now. Pause. Please like it and comment though. Go watch the show and then please come back and watch our thing. I think it's the best experience without knowing what it is, but a lot of people don't do that. And I understand that. You come to people like us to tell you if you should watch something or not.
And wait, real quick, Bill, if you're going to do that, comment that you did that and then come back and say what you think. Like, hey, I'm stopping. I'm going to do that. And that's the truest reaction.
Yeah. So The Rehearsal. So basically what he wants to do is we're going to have a different subject every episode. Core, a teacher from Brooklyn in his 50s, was the subject of this episode. But what it's going to be is going to be a simulation of something that someone is worried about in their life, whether it's a secret, an upcoming life event, anything of that nature, just something that the main person has a worry about. He's going to come in and give you a million simulations of these scenarios to give you the best way to prepare for all ways that a situation could go, and maybe to condition it to go the way that you want it to go. The premise is wild, and I think as the season goes, they're going to become more and more interesting. This first one was a great sample. It was kind of a very low stakes premise. Core, a English teacher, history teacher from Brooklyn. He is a trivia aficionado, a pub trivia, specifically his friends that he hangs out with. That is what they do. That is like what they're social. That is how they blow their steam off. It's basically like their reality guys is going to these pub trivia things. However, the people that he apparently goes to pub trivia with are very, very intelligent. All have master's degrees or very higher education degrees. Something that seems impressive. And he only has his bachelor's. He's just a teacher. So he apparently has narrated the story and lied to the fact that he's got a master's degree. But it's now starting to eat away at him because they are trying to help him get jobs, and they're sending him jobs that you need to have a master's for, and blah, blah, blah. Not the biggest deal. If you're just watching it on the surface, you would think at first, like, Bill, Brian, like, that's not a big deal. That's stupid. Watch it. And if you've watched it, you understand, because it's so real to this guy, Brian, right? Like, he is scared to death of the idea of telling his friend that he lied to them.
Yeah, he wants to tell all of his friends, but he's most worried about this one person giving the worst reaction. And that's kind of what it's based around.
And what's crazy is, and it's why I think Nathan Fielder is so great, besides obviously his comedic sense, he really cares about people. He's not great at showing it, but the way he does show it is like, look at the amount of effort he's willing to put into each episode of this show. It takes weeks at minimum of actual filming time to do each of these episodes, probably months of prep. This guy is putting so much time. That's how he shows how much like he actually cares about people and wants to get to know people. And it's just so damn interesting. And there is nothing like it. There is nothing like this show on TV. And it's funny too. Like, remember, like they have the different kind of false scenarios to learn and set up things and suggest things. And I don't want to spoil everything. The trivia questions, all. My favorite moment was when they walked by the fake police officer who said there was a hostage situation with 4 people and that it was very dangerous.
Yep.
There's no other cars there, no police, no anything. And the chorus literally goes, wow, well, good luck with that, officer.
Yeah. Hope everyone's safe. And that's like kind of what reminds me like the most of his other shows. Is there's a lot of things like that where he's tricking people, but not at the same time. He's not. He's like doing. I don't remember the word for it, but
it's like
the learning thing where you're secretly telling people something every time, like subliminal messaging, but not.
He's like implanting it.
Yeah.
Like the Thrifty Boy. fake website interviewing the guy about where to go.
That's him at his best when he goes on tells these fake, like he has these fake occupations or these fake, like, I contacted this person, waited a week, finally got back. And it's just like it's just so good.
I was laughing and also had my heart like so full the entire episode. I think that's really everything we need to say about it, Brian. I don't want to go too hyperanalyze moment by moment. I loved it. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything you want to touch on? But besides telling people to sprint to watch the show.
I think my favorite part about the show is the lengths that he made of the replicas is what is really, really awesome.
Budget, man, on the show.
Yeah, just building like everything, just building all the stuff, and like even the actors that he has come
the
in.
Invasiveness of the show too, to send fake people into people's homes like weeks ahead of time. Like it's so outrageous.
It's just so good. And like, but if you like, that's what I was saying before. If you like Nathan For You, you will like this show. No questions asked. And I think a lot of people like that show because when I was watching it when I was on TV, like my friends and I, we watched it and we laughed at it. Like it was on for a couple seasons, so it's clearly people liked it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think it'll stick. I saw a couple of people tweeting about it that I follow that are just normal people. Like, oh, this is actually a good show. So we're getting ahead of it here.
Highest of recommendations for Nathan For You. It is the kind of most interesting reality show that isn't trying to be a reality show, but is that we've covered, and we love that. We hope you guys are liking it. Let us know in the comments what you thought about Core. What do you think about the premise? What was the funniest moment? Did you stop and pause like we told you to? But for myself and Brian, thank you. Peace.